welcome to my brand new YouTube channel. I've started up this new YouTube channel. It's a brand new concept for me. I've never done anything like this. I am just a home cook. I've never worked in professional kitchens or anything like that. I've been vegan now for just over 2 years, and these recipes have been brought together just from me researching, watching other videos of vegan home cooks, chefs, learning techniques and methods to put together my own vegan recipes. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make my recipe for a plant-based vegan medallion steak. This is going to be made using two main ingredients. One is vital wheat gluten, so you can call this a seitan, which is meat primarily made from the gluten from wheat flour. So you can buy this, I get this from Amazon. You can get it in lots of sort of alternative shops, food shops as well. Now, to give it an extra bit of meatiness, I'm also going to be adding in this stuff. Now this is pretty basic stuff. You can get it in all sorts of different places. Again, I actually got this for £1 from Holland & Barrett. It's textured soy protein. Sometimes people call it textured vegetable protein. It adds a bit of spring, a bit of bite to the steak, just give that more meaty texture. So here we go. This is my plant-based medallion steak. Okay, so we're going to start off today with our dry ingredients. So for the base of the meat, we're going to need 1 cup of vital wheat gluten, into a blender or a food processor. And also 1 cup of the soy mince. This is nutritional yeast, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. One rough tablespoon of onion powder. About a teaspoon of garlic powder. Pinch of black pepper. And a good pinch of salt. Now for our wet ingredients. So we want to use 325 millilitres of boiling water. And to that, I'm going to add in 2 of these meat-free stock cubes. These stock cubes are from OXO, they're meat-free, and they are fantastic. They come in chicken flavour and beef flavour. I regularly use them in my recipes. It's just a really good way, particularly with the plant-based meats, to give them that sort of real rich, meaty flavour. So for this one, I'm going to be using 2 of these cubes. Now we have some blackstrap molasses. Again, you can get this on Amazon. I get most of these ingredients from Amazon. They're a bit more obscure. And we want to put in a tablespoon of this This gives it a real irony flavour. And another great ingredient, particularly when trying to make beef flavourings, Marmite. So this is yeast extract, gives it a real umami sort of flavour as well. Brings out that meatiness. So I just dissolve that into the hot water. Now I'm going to add the liquid into the dry ingredients, into the food processor. And now we're going to blitz this for a few minutes, probably 5 minutes on the first go. So after about 4 or 5 minutes, I'm just going to let that rest now for a minute, and then we will blitz it again. I'm going to blitz it again for another few minutes. We're going to blitz it this time until it starts wrapping itself round the centre column of the blender. There we go, I think this is looking good. So as you can see there, if I hold that closer to the camera there, you can see it was wrapped around the blender and it's all one big lump of dough now. So all of those little bits of mince have all come together with the dough to form this big sticky ball. Now we don't want to do anything with this just yet, we want to let it cool down. It's actually quite hot to touch because obviously I used water from the kettle to make it. So I'm just going to pop this to one side in a bowl whilst we make then our fat layer that we will layer up with the meat to give you the marbling through the meat. Okay, so our meat is resting. Whilst the meat part of it is resting, we're now going to make the fat. This is very, very similar to how you would make a mayonnaise. We're going to start with some water. This is just cold water, about 70 millilitres of cold water. And this is methyl cellulose. Again, this methyl cellulose powder is perfectly safe to eat. It's food grade and it thickens sauces. We're going to use this to really thicken up the fat we're about to add to make it into sort of a mayo-like consistency. So we'll add that to the water. We'll get our oil ready. I'm going to add half a cup of oil to this. And we're going to start by mixing the water and the methyl cellulose together. So you want to whisk this so the methyl cellulose dissolves completely and you get this sort of white foam. Now we're going to add the oil very, very slowly. You can see that's made a very thick, white, fatty, mayonnaise-like sauce. Just to give it a bit more thickness as well, I'm just going to add in a teaspoon of arrowroot powder. And there we have it, our fatty sauce. So we have our meat that's just rested. I'm now going to stretch it out and roll it out. We're just going to get some of this fat that we made earlier and just spread that over the parchment paper. Going to grab a sharp knife. And I'm going to start slicing the meat and then slicing it again into strands. You want to get this into long, thin strands. And then we're just going to lay the strands down all in the same direction. I'm going to lay out some of this, the fat in here like this. And there we have it. So I just then get some more fat around the edge. Now we're going to wrap this up nice and tight. again in foil. The meat is steaming. We're now going to make our broth. This is going to be a broth to soak the meat in once it's cooked and cooled down. I'm putting in 2 of the OXO cubes again. And a teaspoon of beetroot powder. I'm also just going to add in another large pinch of salt. And some boiling water. And now we're just going to put this to one side and let it cool down. So this is what the steaks look like, chopped up. You can see all the texture there from all the pieces that we laid out earlier on. So I'm just going to take the steaks now, a couple other pieces, and place them in a bowl like that. And then I'm going to pour the broth over the top. Like that. I'm going to pop the lid on this and then leave that in the fridge overnight. So here we have the steak. This has been left overnight in the broth. This is how it's looking. There we are, look at that. Perfect marbly, juicy steak, ready to be cooked. And there you have it. Some beautifully juicy, meaty, plant-based steak. So yeah, there you have it. That is the recipe for my beautifully juicy plant-based medallion steaks. Enjoy.